Friday CAA baseball action in Williamsburg, Virginia. William & Mary, their home opening series, looking for CAA win number 1 on the year, while North Carolina A&T, they're looking to win their first series in general this season. It's going to be fun. It's game number 1 of 3 between the William & Mary Tribe and the North Carolina A&T Aggies here at Plenary Park. Welcome into our broadcast booth. I am Jack Angelucci. So happy to have you on your Friday evening. Going to be a fun one, like I mentioned. William & Mary looking for their first conference win of the season. A&T at 2-4. You take a look at the all-time series in this one between these two sides, and only 9 meetings, never met before A&T joined the CAA in the 2023 season. The Aggies won the first 4 meetings of those 9 meetings. They won last year's series in Greensboro in 2-1 in that 3 games at the Tribe. 2-1 in Williamsburg against North Carolina A&T. Taking a look at the CAA standings, a divisional look this year for the CAA, and as you see there on your screen, William & Mary trying to get win number 1 of their conference season at 0-3 after being swept by Campbell 2 weeks ago. Obviously the Tribe, one of only 2 teams that have not played 2 conference series yet as we make our way into this weekend. Taking a look at the comparison of these two sides offensively, William & Mary only hitting .242 this season. That's a year removed from leading the CAA in batting average. Hit .311 last year, but the Tribe very active on the base paths. You see there, 51 stolen bases on the season for William & Mary. That's second best in the conference. Expect them to get active today on the base pass. Turning to the defensive side of the ball, in North Carolina A&T, you see a 7.33 ERA. That is last in the CAA. They got roughed up in the first 2 games of their series last weekend against Campbell. Gave up 21 runs and then 10 runs against the Camels in that one. Going to try and limit the damage here today against William & Mary in the first game of this series. Was able to talk to head coach Rob McCoy of William & Mary before today's contest, and really, Coach McCoy was just saying that the key for this series, the key to get off to a good start in the home portion of the conference slate is to limit mistakes. He said, we're a young team. We've built this team where we know they're going to make mistakes. We're trying to build for the future, but trying to limit them is going to be key for his ball club in this 3-game set against the Aggies, and we will see how they do that today. Game 1 of this series is due up next. William & Mary in North Carolina A&T right here on Flow College.
Hey Tribe fans, my name is Luke Calveric, and thank you for watching William & Mary Baseball on the Tribe Sports Network. Go Tribe!
We are back here at Plenary Park. It is game 1 of a 3-game CAA set between North Carolina A&T and William & Mary. Jack Angelucci, so happy to have you here on your Friday evening. Should be a fun one as both these teams try and build some momentum in conference play. You take a look at William & Mary defensively today. You see there on your screen how they line up for head coach Rob McCoy. And on the mound for the Tribe today is going to be the right-hander Stephen Christopher. He is one of 8 different freshmen that has worked innings for this Tribe club this season. A really good outing last time out for him against Georgetown. Worked 4 innings and only gave up 1 earned run. So a really good job by Christopher his last time. Taking a look at the lineup for North Carolina A&T, and at the top, it's going to start off tough. Nick DiCarlo is definitely a bat to watch in this Aggies lineup. He is 4th in the CAA in batting average this season, as he currently hitting .400 on the year. So he'll be a tough out, and he'll be the first guy that Christopher has to face here to get game 1 of this series underway. As I mentioned, should be a fun one. William & Mary trying to get win number 1 of their conference season, I should say. And for North Carolina A&T, mentioned they're 2-4 in conference play under Ben Hall. It's his 12th year with the Aggies. They joined the CAA in 2023, and this is the first of 2 meetings between these two sides. We'll get into more of that later, but as I mentioned, year 12 for Hall as the head man for North Carolina A&T. So here we go to begin this Friday night in Williamsburg. It's going to be the left-hander, Nick DiCarlo, up at the plate. And as I mentioned, he is a bat to watch in this Aggies lineup. First action for A&T since their series last weekend with Campbell. They had a midweek get canceled against Radford. The Tribe coming off of a 6-8 loss at Longwood earlier this week, and the first pitch of the ball game is rolled in the ground to second base. Chavez is up with it, and just like that, I was talking up to Carlo, but Christopher makes quick work of him there on one pitch to get us going on this Friday evening in Williamsburg. Home game number 8 of William & Mary's schedule at home. They're 5-2 so far here at Plumeri Park. As this is going to be another left-handed bat. This is the catcher, Tyler Smith. 87 mile per hour there from Christopher, and it misses outside for a ball, 1-0. That one's in for a called strike. Mentioned North Carolina A&T took 2 of the 3 games last year in Greensboro, but keep an eye on the offenses in this 3-game series. I know they haven't necessarily had the start of the season they've wanted, but last year when they met, both teams scored 7+ runs in all 3 games of that series. This is a 1-2. It's fouled off by the catcher Smith. We'll do it again. Nice night here at the ballpark. In the mid-60s, our temperature. The count 1-2, and the freshman will deal. That's high and tight, and sends Smith to his backside. We're evened up at 2-2. Breezy night at that, though. Wind is blowing out. So as I mentioned, that should aid the offenses in this one. 2-2 is fouled off. A good battle here ensuing with the left-hand hitter Smith. Switch hitter, but bats on the left side here against the right-handed freshman Christopher. 292 on the season for the sophomore. So it was 1 pitch, 1 out to DiCarlo. The most dangerous bat, at least average-wise, in this A&T lineup. And the 2-hole hitter Smith, though, hanging tough, working this at-bat against Christopher. But got him there, really fooled him on a breaking ball, low and in. It's a swing and a miss. Smith is down on strikes quickly, 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Right-hand hitter with 2 gone to keep the inning alive for A&T. This is Bruce Weich, the right fielder. First pitch is a ball. 87 mile per hour fastball. 279 this season for Weich. It's the first righty that Christopher will face today. I want to correct what I said in that open of our broadcast. Christopher did make his first career start last time out against Georgetown. I said he went 4 innings. Actually, it was 2 1/3 and went scoreless with a pair of strikeouts. It was the 6th straight scoreless outing for the freshman and he is the best ERA on this team at .82. But it's 2 balls, no strikes here to the 3-hole hitter Weich. And that's a nice breaker dropped in. 2-1. This is off the end of the bat towards second base. Second action for Chavez in this half of the inning, and no problem there. And that's going to end the top half of the frame. Great work again by Stephen Christopher. He puts the top of this Aggies order down. 1, 2, 3. William Mary, they're due up the bat next here on Flow College.
Bingo. Be sure to grab a bingo sheet and pencil from the marketing table on the first base line. Take your filled out card.
There's a new home for care in Richmond. A hospital for kids unlike any other. Because in your child's life, you'll never know when you'll need help. You'll never know who you'll need. You'll never know what is possible. But you'll always know where it will happen. The new Children's Tower, unlike any other.
Gavin Sentel is going to be on the mound for this North Carolina A&T ball club, and the righty is going to try and set his team up for success here in this series opener. As you look at Sentel, the righty, and you see the defense behind him today under head coach Ben Hall, and that's how the Aggies will line up in this series opener. And as I mentioned, Gavin Sentel, you see him there, you see his numbers on the screen. He got roughed up a little bit last time out against Campbell a week ago, was the Friday starter, went 3 2/3, gave up 12 runs. Only 6 of them were earned, though, but did give up 5 big flies in that one against the Camels. And you'll see the William Mary offense is going to try and do some damage against him today. And the main guy to watch, at least a guy I have my eye on, is Scafidi in that 4-hole. He is the only CAA catcher hitting better than 400 this season, and that is why Rob McCoy has him slotted in that cleanup spot. And there you do see Rob McCoy, the second-year head coach for William Mary, coming from Niagara. McCoy has had a winning record in conference with each of his last 5 ball clubs. First pitch is lifted to right field, and this is going to be off the wall for Chase Ecker. He's got extra bases, and Ecker wants 3. He'll be in there, standing up. Chase Ecker, lead-off triple for the Tribe. What a start for William & Mary. First pitch, and Ecker shoots it out to right field for a 3-bagger. Takes it the other way. Just a great job there. Almost 100 miles per hour off the bat. And hops up off the wall there. William & Mary, a runner in scoring position already, as they'll bring in Laskowski, the shortstop. Counts 2-0 to him. Laskowski hitting .352 this season, and the lefty will line this one to second. It's knocked down there by Taylor, and they're not going to give it first, and now coming home to score is going to be Ecker. He initially held up as Taylor had a chance to snag that one out of the air, knocked it down, and then a great job by Laskowski to bring him on in, puts it in play, he legs it out. Take a look at this here. Well hit ball, and just dove right there. And it'll be a hit, so it will be a base knock for Laskowski and an RBI. The Tribe up 1-0 here in this first inning. Central's going to miss outside 1-0 as the hitter is Trey Chrisman. There goes Laskowski. This is going to be a hit and run on the ground to third base. Beals is going to have that one just eat him up. And William & Mary has sent 3 guys to the dish, and they've all reached safely. They're up 1-0 here with nobody gone in the top of the first inning, and it brings in the 400 hitter, Scafidi, with a pair on and already a 1-0 William & Mary lead. Just an ideal start to begin this weekend for William & Mary. That was ruled an error on the third baseman. Beals, both runners in motion. Scafidi deep to right, and that one is out of here. When Scafidi leaves the yard, William & Mary a dream start. They lead 4-0. Hammer time brought to you by Streamline Roofing. The homer off the bat of Scafidi, and William & Mary, as you can tell by looking at their dugout, plenty of energy because they lead this thing 4-0, 372 feet off the bat of the Tribe's backstop. And had mentioned the last time out for Central had problems giving up homers, and right now has not gotten anybody out through 4 guys to the plate. And the 5th guy up in this inning is Charlie Iriatakis, and he's got a 1-1 count on him. This is lifted to right center field, and shading over to take care of it out there is DiCarlo, but a loud out number 1 in what has been a raucous start for William & Mary offensively, and a less than ideal start on the mound for Gavin Sentel. It's going to bring on in the freshman first baseman, Kasuda. He actually leads the CAA in runs batted in, 21 heading into this weekend. Already twice the CAA Rookie of the Week, and he will line a 1-0 pitch into right center field. It's going to be a 1-out single for the freshman sensation for William & Mary, Matthew Kasuda. He's on. William & Mary just passing the baton right now. They've sent 6 to the plate. They've all put it in play. Only one of them hasn't reached safely. And it's going to be the head coach, Ben Hall, who comes out to try and settle down his senior starting pitcher, Gavin Sentel. Interesting for Sentel, this is going to be his 5th outing of the season. And I mentioned the 5 homers he gave up against Campbell last time out. He didn't give up a home run in his first 3 outings. And now in the last 4 total innings he's worked, he's seen the ball leave the yard 6 times. You got to imagine that shakes your confidence a bit as a pitcher. So it's Kasuda on at first, and it brings in a left-hand hitter for the Tribe. This is Louis Bartletti, and the first pitch to him is a strike, 0-1. 88 miles an hour from Sentel. Good stab behind the plate. It's Smith back there working with Sentel today. And there you see Louis Bartletti digging in with 1 away in the home half of the first. Bartletti, .318 this season for William & Mary. Fouled straight back. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. That is the first homer of the season for Scafidi. Mentioned he was the only CAA catcher hitting 400 or better. But how about that? Now we can add a home run to the ledger and a 3-run shot at that has given William & Mary a very comfortable lead here in the home half of the first. Sentinels 2-2, runners in motion, and he fouls it off the wrist, and that one hits off the top of our broadcast booth back here. We'll send back Kasuda to first base, and Bartletti will ready for another 2-2 pitch. Check over. Kasuda back in time. This inning all started by a Chase Eckert triple. There goes the runner. The fire down from Taylor's on the money, but no, the tag wasn't able to be placed by the shortstop, Acevedo. In there with a stolen base is Kasuda, and another runner in scoring position. And they're going to take a look at this one. It was a really nice throw down by the catcher, Taylor. Kind of dove a touch on the shortstop, Acevedo. Here's a really good look at it by our crew. And wow, what a swim move by Kasuda. Unbelievable that he's able to avoid that tag. And I think this is going to be a relatively quick review, but what do I know? We'll see. But if it were to stand, William & Mary, another swiped bag for them. Mentioned second in the conference in thefts. How about this? Stole 10 bases last Saturday at Georgetown to set the modern program record for stolen bases in a game. The Tribe did take 2 of 3 from the Hoyas last weekend. Right now it is a full count. And we'll await for official word. But it's going to be a full count with one away to Bartletti. And as it looks right now, Kasuda will have a stolen base. Our crew makes their way out of the review. And he is safe. What a great job avoiding that tag by Kasuda. I mean, what can't this freshman do? Mentioned CAA leading 21 ribbies for him, and now puts himself in scoring position. And now there's going to be 2 on as that full count pitch misses to Bartletti.
Left fielder number 27.
No one up and throwing yet for A&T, as obviously they would like to avoid having to dip into the bullpen this early in the first game of a 3-game set to start the weekend. But it is a walk for Bartletti. So runners on first and second. And this is going to be the left fielder, Kazmarek. A spin back to second base. Back in time, Kasuda. This is outside for a ball. Kazmarek, 235. A redshirt freshman. He's one of 18 players for Rob McCoy that is either a true freshman or a redshirt freshman on this 45-man roster. A young team, as we mentioned, and talking to him today, he says, I know we're going to make some freshman mistakes, if you will. Right? But he said, this is how we've built this team. We know that's going to happen. We're building for the future. We're going to try and see what we can do in the meantime with this overall young roster. Kazmarek check swings here on a 2-1 and fouls it off. It's 2-2. If you're just joining us, William & Mary, a great start to their Friday night. 4 runs in this half of the inning. Kazmarek is down on strikes. A breaking ball gets him swinging. As the second baseman, Chavez, will step on in. And all 9 guys have gotten to dig in here for William & Mary in the home half of this first inning. Chavez, this is rope, but well foul the opposite way. Chavez, a grad student, 192 on his season. Looking to add on to his 6 runs batted in thus far. Outside, that one misses. One, 2 gone, 2 on, and Chavez will take low. Centel trying to work himself out of this first inning, and this is going to be lifted towards center, and it'll be handled out there by DiCarlo, and the inning is finally over for North Carolina A&T, but not before William & Mary. They put a 4 spot up thanks to their catcher. Witzkafidi goes big fly, and through 1, the Tribe, they have a comfortable 4-0 lead here in Williamsburg.
You can return foul ball to the concession stand for a free soda. Thank you.
We've played 1 at Plumeri Park, and William & Mary, they have a 4-0 lead. Thanks to a great start, thanks to Chase Ecker's leadoff triple. He came around to score off an RBI from Jamie Laskowski. And then Witzkafidi, already the best hitting catcher in the CAA, added his first home run of the season, a 3-run shot to make it 4-0 Tribe through 1. The Aggies will try and answer here against the freshman on the mound, Stephen Christopher. They have 4, 5, 6 due up. This is their 4-hole hitter, Savoy Edwards. The count's 1-1 to him. Two balls, 1 strike to Edwards. 173 this season for the left-hand hitter. And he fouls this one straight back. Counts even at 2-2. A&T coming off of a series against Campbell last weekend. Lost the first 2 games of that one. They didn't go the distance. This is foul off the foot of Edwards. A 21-11 decision in 8 innings, and then got shut out 10-0 in 7. But to the Aggies' credit, they rebounded nicely in the final game of that series. You take a look here, and Edwards, that's well-placed protection right on that right shin as he fouled it off of himself. Left-hand hitter, this is on the ground to second base. Chavez has been busy over there, and there's one away. And you talk about how good Steven Christopher's been. He has the best ERA on this staff. How about this? Lefties just hitting .077 against him this season. Righties not much better, 174. But that's how you have a stellar freshman campaign right there, is you take advantage of what's historically been known as the favorable matchup for the hitter in that righty-lefty look. Well, Christopher's owned it so far in his rookie campaign. He's got one away. He's retired the first 4 Aggie hitters in this ball game, and the first one misses for a ball. This is their second baseman, JT Taylor. Shows bunt, as he did on the first pitch, and that misses low, 2-0. A trio of 4-3 bounce-outs and a strikeout swinging is how the freshman's gotten rid of the first 4 Aggies. .182 on the season for Taylor. Breaking ball. That's in for a called strike. Such a beautiful breaking ball Christopher has. How about this? That spin rate on that pitch just came in around 2,800. The average D1 college breaking ball will sit right around 2,200 and on command like he's showing off. Like you know I'm talking about. It'll be upped at that time to nearly 3,000 RPMs. And that's better than the MLB average by about 500. Not to get too analytical on you, but to translate for you, I've been told that's really, really, really good. 2-2. And he goes back to the heater on 2-2 and misses. Full count to the right-hand hitting second baseman for NCA&T. Thought about it. Did he go? No, he did not. And it's a walk.
Left fielder number 1, Marcus Bradshaw.
So the first runner on for North Carolina A&T via a walk. Bradshaw, the left fielder, will step on in. Another lefty. Lineup for A&T has had plenty of them, but as we mentioned, statistically speaking, that necessarily hasn't been the best option against the stellar rookie, Steven Christopher. But let's see what A&T can do with their first runner of the ball game. A check over to first base, and he's back in time. .224 for Bradshaw this season. And that's in for a called strike, 1-1. What's really impressive about Christopher's numbers, and it's why he's worked so many scoreless outings, 6 in a row, trying to work on a 7th, is when hitters get on, as there goes the runner here on this 0-1, and it'll be no throw down to second base. A swipe bag here for Taylor, and a runner in scoring position now for North Carolina A&T. But as I was saying before, the reason that Christopher's been able to build these scoreless outings on top of each other is that when hitters get on, he really kind of battens down the hatches, only hitting, once again, .038 is the opposition against Steven Christopher when they're on base. Another beautiful breaking ball, 75 miles per hour. Nothing that Bradshaw can do with that one. And the count 1-2. Sixth steal of the season for JT Taylor. Swing and a miss. Got him on that breaker. And there's 2 away. Another lefty dealt with by Stephen Christopher. There's a look at our umpires for this 3-game set this weekend. And there are 2 away here in the top of the second with William & Mary up 4-0. Andrew Tinsley's the DH today for North Carolina A&T, and he's in to take a ball 1-0. That runner on second base is Taylor. He got on via a walk. Tinsley gonna watch this one as well, and it misses 2-0. Fastball at 86 miles an hour. Pitch number 30 of the evening for Stephen Christopher. And this is shot to deep left, and that's a no-doubter. Off the bat of Andrew Tinsley, the designated hitter. He got a hold of that one, 4-0 to left, and it leaves the yard. It's 4-2 now. Tinsley's first homer of the season.
Third baseman, number 11, Caleb Beard.
And it's met with plenty of energy by his teammates in that third base dugout. And that was as good of a no-doubter as you can have. Went down and got that one at knee-high. And the wind was helping him, but he didn't need any help. The wind could have been blowing in. That one was still going to make its way over to Martin Family Stadium. It's 4-2 now. First pitch swing, and it'll bring in the third baseman, Caleb Beals. And if you're a Tribe fan, I'll take the blame. You can go ahead and give me the broadcaster's jinx. It ends the scoreless streak for Stephen Christopher. It'll stop at 6. It's the first homer he's given up this season. And it cuts that lead in half. And how about that? Add on to it. First extra base hit he's allowed this year. But he's still got a 4-2 lead to work with. And Beals is going to foul that one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. One, 2. And this is about a 57-foot breaking ball. That was just the first hit of the game for North Carolina A&T. Mentioned, actually, the majority of guys, 5 of the first 6 they brought to the plate were retired by Christopher until that walk he issued to Taylor and then the 2-run shot to Tinsley. And now it's a full count to the third baseman Beals, the 8-hole hitter. Switch hitter, and it's low and it's a walk. Or at least they list Beals as a switch hitter. Maybe they were listening in to me talk about the statistics of Christopher against the lefties. He decides to go right-handed for that at-bat against the righty Christopher, and he works a walk. And now to the bottom of the order, it goes the 9-hole. This is the shortstop, Luis Acevedo. And we are going to see a mound visit. Brad Mincy's going to come out and talk to his freshman starting pitcher.
Our first bingo winner. Congratulations to John, Jim, Angela, and Pamela. Don't worry, Tribe fans, there are still a few more
4-2 is the score. And now that Christopher's thrown 37 pitches and had a longer inning than he's been used to working for most of the season because he's been so effective, the Tribe's pitching coach decides he needs a bit of a breather. There you see Ben Hall hoping that his offense can produce a little more two-out magic in this second inning and bring things back to level. Acevedo, the shortstop, is going to watch that artful breaking ball coming about knee-high. Breaking ball on 0-1, and it is going to miss low. The Tribe go with this pod pitching system. And the big shout out to Pete Clausen helping me on stats today. Just let me know that we're nearing in on the most pitches that Christopher's thrown in an outing. So we'll see. There is some action in that Tribe bullpen. Count is 2-1. And that's it for a strike. It's the lefty Rich Wine that's up and moving around in the Tribe bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. To Acevedo, the shortstop. And he's got a runner on for him. In Beals. This is back up the middle. A couple hops picked up by the shortstop, Laskowski. He'll do it himself, and the inning will come to a close, but not before the visiting Aggies. They get themselves on the board here at Blue Mary Park, and it is a shot to left off the bat of Andrew Tinsley. It's 4-2 Williamsburg. Tribe coming up next, bottom of the second inning.
And we would like to congratulate one more bingo winner. Congratulations to
The town story for me is really about connecting with our members in a way that's different from the other banks. What's consistently found at Town Bank, it's a company built on employees that really want to help make a difference in people's lives. From day one, this company was built on a culture of caring. A foundation has not changed. We're still built on caring and helping others.
When your child is fighting cancer,
You gonna walk out here on your own? Okay.
you never know what is possible. But you will always know where. Introducing the new Children's Tower, a hospital unlike any other, designed for the unique needs of kids and their families. The new Children's Tower, unlike any other.
What's up, Tribe fans? My name is Chase Ecker. Thank you for watching William Mary Baseball on the Tribe Sports Network. Go Tribe!
William & Mary freshman Mila Millhouse takes center stage this week after powering the Tribe to a 13-7 win over Drexel. Millhouse exploded for a career-high 7 goals, 8 total points, both ranking among the program's all-time top 10 single game performances. 7 goals are not only tied for 6th in school history, they're also the most by any freshman in the nation this season. The Connecticut standout scored the Tribe's first 5 goals, fueling an early 5-1 lead and helping snap Drexel's 8-game winning streak against the Tribe in the series. William & Mary back in action tomorrow against Towson at Martin Family Stadium. Make sure you tune in to that one here on Flow College before you watch some baseball on your Saturday afternoon. We got you covered. I'll have you over at lacrosse. Andrew Phillips will be here with you tomorrow. I'll be back for the series finale on Sunday. One. This is going to be a called strike. The hitter is Chase Ecker, who got things started for the Tribe with a triple in the home half of the first inning. And then from there, the Tribe, oh boy, wow. Fooled Ecker there to put him down on strikes. They appealed to first base. Ecker knew that he was already done for. He started walking back to the dugout. He's down for the first out of the inning. So Sentel has at least worked his way through one of the guys that brought him some trouble in that first inning. Now he'll face Laskovsky with an RBI single on a sinking line drive to second base. And he's down 0-1. Outside for a ball. One pitch, misses. Laskovsky, 361 this season. Already mentioned the RBI. 19 on the season now for him. Count will go to 3-1 to the left-handed hitter. (3-1). That one just barely missed upstairs. Looked pretty good, but it is a ball. And it is a walk worked by Jamie Laskovsky. The shortstop been on twice today in the first 2 innings. Laskovsky, really a patient hitter. 73 plate appearances and has worked 18 walks now this year. There he goes on the first pitch. This is a called strike, but this is going to be airmailed in the center field by the catcher Smith. And off and standing up into third is Jamie Laskovsky. 9 for 12 now on steals. Laskovsky already has the run batted in today with a single. Came around and score on the Scafidi homer. And now works a walk, active on the base pass, and has William Mary 90 feet away from extending their lead to 5-2, and they will, because this is lofted into center field. It's an RBI single for Trey Christman, and the Tribe now lead again, 5-2. They grow that lead to 3.
Catcher number 17, with Scafidi.
Scafidi gonna look to maybe run it back here with that homer hit last inning. Mentioned it was the first of his season. This is going to be fouled off. Christman, another successful job in bringing a runner in. With less than 2 outs and a runner in scoring position now, 3 for 10 and getting that guy in to score. And oh, they almost caught him leaning over there at first base. A good move over by Sentel, but just barely back underneath the tag of Edwards was Christman. Scafidi, this is off the hands, and that one's going to go about 300 feet shorter than his first at-bat. It's a weak pop-up up the middle. P6, and he is down for out number 2 in this bottom of the second inning. Left-hand hitter for the Tribe is in. It is Charlie Iriatakis. There goes the runner from first and Christman. The throw is on the money. Great job by Smith. Puts it right where Acevedo needs it to slap the tag on Chrisman, and that is how we end inning number 2 in Williamsburg. The Tribe, though, they add another run for insurance here in the bottom of the second inning. They lead things 5-2. Off to the third we go on your Friday night.
Thank you to everyone for participating in Baseball Bingo.
They're taking a look at that play at second base, with Chrisman trying to swipe that bag. Here's a look at it. And the ball beats him, but the throw was a little high. Here's a look from behind the plate. It looks like he's in there. But as you can tell, when you took a look from our center field camera, you can't tell when Chrisman's foot gets on the bag. That home plate angle isn't the best for telling that either. So we'll see what they decide, because I mean this has taken now a minute plus to talk about for our crew here. And I think this could be one of those ones. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure what they're looking at down there, what type of looks they have within their system, etc. But could be one of those ones where the ruling on the field could be important. So the Tribe hoping that maybe if this is overruled, they can, overturned I should say, that they can keep their alive here in the second. Here's another look from the center field angle we have for you. And right, I mean, there's a look. Here we go, and he is out. So, as I said, it was tough to tell when the foot got in there. But we're gonna keep it here for this between inning break. And like I mentioned, I think it was one of those instances where it did matter that they called him out on the field, because like I said, you can assume that his foot's in there, but you need to have that clear evidence to overturn it. And the crew decided that it wasn't there that time. Take a look at what we have upcoming for you here on the Tribe Sports Network here on Flow Sports. And mention for you, you got lacrosse tomorrow, then some baseball action, so make sure you join us. It's going to be a fun one between the Towson Tigers and the Tribe over at Martin Family Stadium. You can actually see it off the distance there on the top left of your screen. And then we wrap up this series between the Aggies and the Tribe tomorrow at 4:30, Sunday at 1. And the Tribe will then circle back around on April 2nd to take on Campbell after they hit the road next weekend to play UNCW. They have a little 7-5-7 midweek down in Norfolk coming up against Old Dominion as well. That is going to be on Tuesday at 6 p.m. William & Mary, a pretty scarce home slate in the month of July, if you will. March. I don't know what the month of March. Not sure. There you go. Yeah, it is a very scarce home schedule in July because they won't be playing. But anyway, the weather turns, and I think it's already summertime. But as I was originally trying to say, in March it's a very scarce home slate for William & Mary. Only the one game against Lafayette to close out that series on March 1st. Then they had the one midweek against ECU on the 11th. This is their only home series of the month of March. So they're definitely putting some miles in throughout this month, but lots coming up. The Tribe will play, as I count here, 4 home series, against conference opponents between April 2nd and May 10th. So lots of chances to catch the Tribe in action. As this is the top of the 3rd inning, and to get things going, it's going to be the left-handed hitting Nick DiCarlo. DiCarlo, as I mentioned, 400 on the season. He bounced out to second base to begin the ball game. New arm on the mound for the Tribe. It's Charlie Richwine, the lefty. 7.2 ERA. So just a 2 innings work by Stephen Christopher. Had a marvelous first 1, 2, 3. Then really the only blemish he's had in his last 7 outings with that 2-run shot given up to Tinsley last inning. 5-2 is the score here in the top of the 3rd inning. They check over. He did not go. And the count will even up at 2-2 to the left hand hitting DiCarlo. .91 from Richwine on that last pitch. This is going to be a fastball taken the other way by DiCarlo, showing why he is the 4th best hitter for average in the CAA. And he has this top of the 3rd started with a single.
You doing okay? Yeah. Is this your first game this year?
Smith will come on in. The catcher went down swinging back in the 1st. So DiCarlo is on. The first batter that Richwine faced. And this is going to be a hitter that misses outside. Richwine, a redshirt freshman. As I mentioned, a very, very young William & Mary team that's seen 8 freshmen work innings for them on the bump this season. Nice breaking ball, 80 miles per hour. It's a called strike. 1-1 to the catcher for the Aggies, Tyler Smith. Smith hitting .288 this year. This is low. Actually, they're going to call it a strike. And I think that Smith thought, like I did, that was a bit low, but it'll go to 1-2. Richwine getting some action, and really it's been a long road back for him. He had an elbow injury in high school, came here with the Tribe last year, and because of that injury missed the entire season. Now getting some work here in his redshirt freshman campaign, and he will work a pop-up. And this one, with the wind wreaking havoc, is handled well by the catcher, Scafidi. So not just a powerful bat in the Tribe's lineups. Scafidi can man the dish as well and handle that one well. As we mentioned, a very windy night tonight at Blue Mary Park. They've already seen 2 balls leave the yard very quickly, and look for a second there. It could have been a bit of a sketchy one for Scafidi, but he's able to get the mask off and put it away for out number 1 here in this 3rd inning. Bruce Weich is in, the 3-hole hitter for North Carolina A&T. And he is well late on the fastball at 91. Leading off first is DiCarlo. A&T 4 wins on the season. There goes the runner, DiCarlo. This is fouled straight back. Quickly 0-2 to Weich. A&T has scored a win in each of their first 2 CAA series. They won the CAA opener against Elon, then dropped the final 2 against the Phoenix. Then they were able to bounce back after 2 run rule losses to Campbell and take game 3 of that set. Rich Wine, righties hitting 200 against him this season. Lefties 417. With runners on, opponents hitting 259 as he misses inside their 1 and 2. And he'll check over just to make sure DiCarlo knows he's got an eye on him. Just joining us, it's 5-2 Tribe thanks to a 4-run first inning for the green and gold. And the exclamation point in that one was a 3-run shot, first of the season for the catcher, Whit Scafidi. Fastball inside and moving that back hip out of the way is Weich. We're evened up at 2-2. The 2 non-conference wins for the Aggies coming against Northern Illinois and Queens. This is taken the other way, hit well to right center field on his horse out there, and a great break on that ball for Uriatakis. There are 2 away. It's a loud out number 2 at that. And scurrying back to first is DiCarlo.
First baseman number 10, Savoy Edwards.
Savoy Edwards is going to come on in. With 2 gone in the top of the 3rd frame. Edwards was a couple guys to bounce out to second base in the first 2 innings that were worked by Stephen Christopher. They bring on the lefty here in Rich Wine. Runner in motion, fired down. It was zinged down there by Scafidi, but it pulled the shortstop, Laskowski, a bit too far to the left of the bag. And in there with a stolen base is going to be DiCarlo, a runner in scoring position for North Carolina A&T to try and draw closer here in the 3rd. Swipe bag number 7 in 10 attempts for DiCarlo, and it was close. It was a great throw, at least pop-wise, from Scafidi, but like I mentioned, just a bit too far off the bag. Count is 0-1 to Edwards. And Rich Wine fires that one in there letter high. That one got to 92 from the lefty. If you can point at one struggle area for William Mary defensively this season, teams have been able to swipe some bags on him. 53 for 57 now this season. It's not going to matter, though, here in the 3rd, as a swing and the miss from Edwards is going to end our top of the 3rd. We head to the bottom of the inning at Plumeri Park. It's the Tribe by 3 right here on Flow College. back here at Blue Mary Park
Now add that to the Tribe. Right fielder,
as the Tribe
number
lead this one
24,
5-2 over North Carolina A&T. As leading off this home half of the third frame is going to be Charlie Iritakis. Remember, he was up at bat when Chrisman was caught stealing, and he wastes no time here swinging at the first pitch and lofts this one high into the sky here in Williamsburg, where it's handled by Bradshaw out and left.
Matthew Katsuda.
Really a nice job by Sentel. I know he gave up that one run last inning, but overall he has looked a little more composed ever since giving up that home run to Scafidi, and now is back out here working the third inning. Mentioned the last thing the Aggies wanted to see was them have to dip into that bullpen early on here on this Friday, as the count's now 1-1 to the Tribe's hitter number 10 in white today, Matthew Kasuda. Inside for a ball, 2-1. Kasuda, a single and a stolen base. Back in the first. And he will take a cut at a breaking ball, but empty-handed for him at 79 miles an hour. And he's going to put down Kasuda swinging. Easily the best start to a frame we've seen from the righty, Gavin Sentel, and it comes here in the third. And thanks to that two-run homer that they got from Andrew Tinsley, the Aggies really needed to see Sentel settle down because his offense gave him a little bit of runs to play with once they shortened that gap from what was once 4-0 after the first. And so they're trying to keep him in the ball game and hope that offense can produce a bit more to at least tie this one up and potentially take the lead here in game one of this series. Always talk about it, how important game ones are of these three game sets, especially conference sets. 2-1 as it misses low. This is Bartletti, just below the Mendoza line, and he chops this one. It's going to stay fair. 2 hops picked up by Edwards, and they got him. Great work by Gavin Sentel here in this third inning. Got roughed up in the first, limited damage in the second. He'll work a 1-2-3 frame in the bottom of the third. We've played 3 at Blue Mary Park. It's William & Mary 5, North Carolina A&T 2.
Fun fact, you know Mountain Dew and spicy chicken is the perfect combo.
Does it look like I don't know that?
Okay. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers.
You know, we both did the employee training, Gary.
Okay, don't jump down my beak.
Doing spicy? Do the do.
My name is Jed Humphreys, and thank you for watching with William & Mary Baseball on the Tribe Sports Network. Go Tribe!
Take a look at what ended that home half of the third inning. Great hustle down the line by Bartletti, and he dove into the first base bag and was just beaten out by the covering pitcher in Sentel. We're on to the fourth. Stretch out as you see the Tribe Some players working on some stretching there in the dugout. We're on to the 4th inning, as I mentioned. It's been a fun game. We have seen 6 of the 7 total runs in the ballgame produced by homers. William & Mary, a 3-run shot from their catcher, Whit Scafidi. On the other side for North Carolina A&T, it was a 2-run shot in the 2nd from Andrew Tinsley. He's due up 3rd in this 4th inning, and they're working against the lefty, Charlie Richwine. It's the 2nd inning of work for Richwine, the redshirt freshman. But leading things off first is JT Taylor, the second baseman, and he's going to watch a fastball at 91 that was just below his knees. 2-0. This is the first of 2 3-game sets between these two sides, because the new divisional look in the CAA, which we'll get to a little bit later on our show with a nice breakdown for you as to how that works this season. Got him chasing. That was about chin high on a 92-mile-per-hour heater. 2-2. Leadoff hitters have found success against Richwine, which is why that ERA is in the mid-6s. They're hitting .727 against him so far this season, but he's trying to avoid allowing that leadoff runner to get on here in the top of the 4th, as he's got a 2-2 count against the second baseman, JT Taylor. Taylor 182 this season. This is hit hard to center field, and giving chase out there was Ecker. He couldn't get to it in time. It's a leadoff single for JT Taylor, and once again a leadoff hitter finds success against Richwine and starts A&T with a runner on in the 4th frame.
Left fielder number 1, Marcus Bradshaw.
Marcus Bradshaw, the righty, will dig on in. Bradshaw down swinging the first time up for him. Opening pitch of his second AB is going to be well high. Popping out of his stance behind the dish, Scafidi. You see the line score at the top of your screen. 2 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for A&T. 5 runs on 5 hits for the Tribe. Both teams have stranded a pair of runners in this ballgame. The count goes to 1-1 on the right-hand hitting left fielder for the Aggies. One. Other way off the end of the bat, weakly hit. Giving chase is the right fielder Iriotakis, and he's going to track it down to the line for out number 1. That one did stay in the air just long enough for Iriotakis out there to get there. That could have been a case where the wind blowing out might have actually aided the pitcher, as that one traveled just far enough for Iriotakis to get his glove on it. And with 1 gone, it brings in the DH, Andrew Tinsley, who had a no-doubter back in the 2nd inning. Got out of here quick to left field. Looking to repeat. Hard hit ball up the middle. And it got eaten up by the second baseman, Chavez. He was thinking 2 on that one, but maybe was trying to get rid of it before he had it, if you will, and it'll be an E4 that puts a pair on for the Aggies with 1 gone in the 4th. Tinsley once again able to really barrel one up. Obviously that one was on the ground versus his homer in the 2nd, but still an exit velo of 100 miles per hour off his bat. So with 2 on, it's the third baseman, Beals. He walked his first time up. Just 105 on the season for Beals. Takes the first pitch for a strike. William & Mary has done a really nice job fielding the baseball. It's their third error this season, or league play, excuse me. So they've been pretty sure-handed. A rare miscue there up the middle by Chavez. But his pitcher, Rich Wine, trying to make sure that doesn't matter here. Quickly 0-2 is the count. Check back to second. They might have got him, and they did. Great job sneaking in by the second baseman, Chavez. You talk about making up for a mistake. He orchestrates that pick play beautifully with Rich Wine on the mound, and they're able to catch a sleeping Taylor at second base for the second out of the frame. What a look. The jump move, and Chavez timed it perfectly to where Taylor was just hung out to dry there. And it erases that runner in scoring position and puts Rich Wine back in the driver's seat in this fourth, with now an 0-2 count as a foul ball lifted out of play. 2 gone, and now just that one runner on first base remaining in Tinsley. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. To the third baseman, Beals. And he got him. A 91-mile-per-hour hitter is going to freeze Beals and end the frame. Great job by Rich Wine. Gets the pick off at second, then comes on back with this beautiful fastball, knee-high, paints the inside black. We're off to the bottom of the fourth at Plumeri Park, where William & Mary, they hold a 5-2 lead. Bottom 4 on a breezy evening, but a really nice one at that in Williamsburg, where our score is 5-2. William & Mary in front of North Carolina A&T in game number 1 of a 3-game CAA set. And still on working for A&T is going to be Gavin Sentel. As Sam Kasmerick going to dig on in for William & Mary. Takes a ball. One and one. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two and 2. And Kasmerick will send this one the other way, and it's down for a leadoff single for William & Mary.
Second baseman, number 5, Connor Chavez.
So Kasmerick struck out, his first time up, but he gets a leadoff single in the bottom of the fourth. This is the fourth inning of work for Gavin Sentel. Chavez, second baseman, has already seen Sentel here today and flew out to center field. 1-0 to the Tribe's second baseman before we flip to the top of the order and Chase Ecker will stride in. Check to first. Back in plenty of time for Kazmarek. The 1-0, there goes the runner Kazmarek, and this is going to be chopped foul down the third base line by Chavez. Chavez just 184 this season against righties. Trying to better that here and provide some insurance maybe for the Tribe as another hit and run on here, and he will knock this foul back behind us onto Ironbound Road. So 184 against righties, 250 with runners on. This is a 1-2 coming. And he got him swinging. 79-mile-per-hour breaking ball by Sentel, who, as I mentioned before last inning, I've been impressed by the way he has responded ever since giving up that home run to Scafidi. Allowed the one run in the second inning, but has really been lights out the last, I call it, 6 guys he's faced. And you see there, he's able to get Chavez. And out to the mound, once again, the head coach for the Aggies, Ben Hall. And that's going to do it for the day for Sentel. They let him go a full 2 times through the order. And we'll have a new pitcher for North Carolina A&T coming into the ball game next. The score is 5-2. William & Mary in front. We'll be right back after this here on Flow College.
Fun fact, you know Mountain Dew and spicy chicken is a perfect combo?
Does it look like I don't know that?
Okay. Didn't mean to ruffle your feathers.
You know, we both did the employee training, Gary.
Okay, don't jump down my beak.
Doing spicy? Do the do.
Hey Tribe fans, my name is Charlie Richwine. Thank you for watching William & Mary Baseball on the Tribe Sports Network. Go Tribe.
Pitching change for North Carolina A&T. It's going to be the lanky righty, 6'4", Aiden Hansen to get the ball in relief of the starter Sentel. And for Hansen, he also worked just like Sentel in that Friday game against Campbell. And as I mentioned, it was a 21-11 final. It didn't really work out too well for any of the Campbell arms. He gave up 5 earned in a 3 1/3 innings. You see the numbers in a little over 14 innings worked for Hansen, and he'll try and, as I mentioned, keep things tight for this A&T offense to get back in the dugout and try and make a comeback effort here. Bottom of the 4th inning, and the score is 5-2 William & Mary. So 2 full times through.
Center fielder number 7, Chase Ecker.
For the starter Sentel. Final line for Sentinel is going to be 3 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. So with 1 gone here in this 4th inning, before we see a pitch from the righty, Hansen, it's going to be a check over to first base, where it's currently occupied by Kazmarek, who had a single to begin this 4th inning. Chase Ecker's in. He had a triple to lead off the bottom of the 1st inning, came around to score, and he watches this pitch outside at 82 miles per hour for a ball. Ecker, 294 this year with runners on base. And he'll cut it this one and miss. Just 257 on the season, so a bit better when there's runners on. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to the Tribe's leadoff man, who's manning center field this evening in Game 1 of this 3-game series. A snap move over to first. Back in time. One, and it misses. Thanks for tuning in on your Friday. A fun game so far. Lots of action through 3.5 innings. Inside for a ball. One in there for a called strike. Excuse me, 3-1 was the count, I should have said. Numbers and months, not my strong suit, I guess, on a Friday evening. So a full count coming with 1 away to Ecker. Another nice move over. But Kazmarek, after watching what's a pretty swift pickoff move from Hansen, has decided to not stray too far away from that first base bag. There he goes, though, on the payoff pitch. High chopper to third. Leaping stab by Beals. Throw across the diamond. They're going to get him. And over to third, though, with fantastic hustle goes Kazmarek. He goes first to third on a Baltimore chop to third base. So, wow, Kazmarek on his horse. You take a look, he was already in motion from first base, which gave him a nice head start. It was a fantastic play at first, by the way, and an even better pick over there by Edwards. At third base, Beals made just a great stab at it. And really no fault on the defense, necessarily, that Kazmarek goes first to third on that play. But it brings in Laskovsky, this is his wheelhouse. He's 7 for 18 with runners in scoring position. And how about this, hitting .438 when there's 2 outs? And right now, that's the case in both instances. So a runner on third for him. Went to look to drop that down the third base line. It's a foul ball, 0-1. And he'll regroup as Hansen is looking to work a clean inning here. He did inherit that runner on third in Kazmarek. And this is lined into right field. It's going to be an RBI single for Jamie Laskovsky. His 2nd RBI of the day, and the Tribe now back to a 4-run lead at 6-2. 11th time this season, Laskovsky has found pay dirt with 2 outs. Just a great job by the lefty, a smooth stroke. And he's earned both his RBI today. He laced a ball up the middle in the first inning that brought in Ecker to score. And that time, you can also really tip a cap to Kazmarek for his hustle, getting first to third on that chopper to third base moments ago. set up him to be driven in by Laskowski. So the Tribe, they lead again by 4. A great job knocking it down in front of the plate, but then taking a spill before he could potentially throw a back pick over to first was the catcher Smith. So I spoke too soon. You can add another earned run on that final line for the starter Sento. Here's Trey Chrisman. He scored today and driven in a run. And he'll take a nice sweeping breaking ball. And talk about spin rate. That was another beautiful one on the other side by Hansen. You take a look at that stop, the backhand stop by the catcher Smith. And obviously he would love to stay on his feet before he could have got rid of that one. But he'll try to get a runner to end the inning here. But it hops on the second baseman, goes into center field. Off to third goes Laskowski. And some confusion out there in the outfield. Eventually A&T gets it and will just run it back into the infield. But a stolen base for Jamie Laskowski, his 11th of the season on the hopping throw that gets into center. He'll advance to third. Decent pitch to throw on, but it just kind of short hopped on his second baseman there in Taylor. Three and one is now the count to Chrisman with another insurance run just 90 feet away. Wow, that's a nice breaker as well. Just at the knees. Seeing 2 elite breaking balls in this game. First from the starter for the Tribe, the freshman Steven Christopher. And this breaker's looked really nice for Hansen, except this one's going to be lifted into right field. It's a diving effort out there by Taylor. Or excuse me, by Weich. My apologies, not Taylor. And that is how the inning will come to an end. Bruce Weich, a nice play out there in right, is going to end things in the 4th. Not before. William and Mary, they get another run across, and they lead things 6-2 as we head on to the 5th at Blue Mary Park. We're on to the 5th inning at Blue Mary Park. The score is William & Mary 6, North Carolina A&T 2. Happy to have you. Jack Angelucci here with our great team from Telemedia and the Tribe Sports Network here on Flow College. And to begin this top of the 5th inning, Luis Acevedo, the shortstop, is going to hop on in.
So looking for 3 from Richwine. He's given him 3 innings his last 2 outings.
Third straight time that Richwine is going to have his eyes set on working 3 full frames. Acevedo, first pitch, driven into center field. Unfortunately for him, it's right at the center fielder Ecker, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out for Charlie Richwine here in the top of the 5th. So that'll flip things to the top of the order. And it is DiCarlo, the center fielder, to dig in. 400 hitter, who is 1 for 2 today. 33rd pitch from Charlie Richwine to begin that at-bat, and it missed for a ball. This is a bunt, dropped down. Second baseman Chavez makes the play on it, but it was more of a... Honestly, that's the most powerful bunt I've seen in a long time. It made its way all the way out to the second baseman Chavez, and it works all the same for an infield single, bunt single, whatever you want to call it there for DiCarlo, who proves he can do a bit of everything. It's back-to-back base knocks for him. You can mark him now 2 for 3 in today's ball game. So 1 gone in the top of the 5th, and he'll lead off of first base. Already seen Richwine with a beautiful pickoff move to second today. Nab a runner, and he'll show off that move to first. But very privy to it, DiCarlo is back in time. Here's Smith, the catcher. 0 for 2 today. He struck out swinging in the first, and he popped out to his counterpart, the catcher Scafidi, in the third. That one's eye level for a ball. So Richwine again trying to do his job in this pod system. A system that ideally, if you do it right, for lack of a better term, you'll have 3 guys work 3 innings. Low and inside. 2-0. The starter today was Steven Christopher. He went a pair for the Tribe and was still very solid. Was not as good as he had been, but, I mean, that's a tough standard to hold yourself to, considering he had 6 consecutive scoreless outings coming into this one and a team best .87 ERA. Two balls, 1 strike to Tyler Smith. You see there's DiCarlo leading off first. This is a chopper over the head of the third baseman in Kasuda. And they're going to hold DiCarlo at second. It's going to be a single for Smith, back-to-back base knocks for North Carolina A&T. They have 2 on and 1 out here in the 5th inning, trying to cut into a 4-run deficit.
This is his first time through the lineup, a second time. So this is everybody's second look at Richwine.
And it brings in Weich. So Weich was the first guy to have faced Richwine. So now all 9 Aggies have taken a look at this Tribe lefty and looking to pounce on their second time around. Fastball at 89. We've seen that reach 92 today for the southpaw. That was in for a called strike. Weich. Quick footwork. 1-1. 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to second base when he faced the starter, Christopher, and then flew out to right in the 3rd inning in his first go at Richwine. A pair of runners on. And quickly, count 2-1 as watched a breaking ball in the dirt. Good job by Scafidi keeping it in front. Tribe 6 runs in the ball game. They have scored in 3 of their 4 innings offensively. The Aggies, both their runs came in the second, and it was off of a 2-run homer from the DH, Andrew Tinsley, and it is going to be a chat at the mound with Brad Mincy coming out of the dugout. The rare mid-at-bat discussion, and you see they're warming up on your screen, the Tribe bullpen. It is going to be Daniel Lingle. Lingle, a righty, who he gets a lot of work for the Tribe He led the nation in appearances last season. He worked in 36 games for William & Mary. It's one of those things where they find themselves in a pinch, and Daniel Lingle's the guy you're going to call. But ideally, for Brad Mincy, who you see walking off after that mound visit, and for head coach Rob McCoy, they hope that Rich Wine can kind of batten down the hatches here and get them out of this fifth frame unscathed. So 2-1, is the count, with 2 on to the right fielder, 3-hole hitter, Bruce Weich. Weich pops this one behind the first base bag. Chase for Chrisman. Actually, it's going to be the second baseman, Chavez, who made a play at it, but because everyone had to hold up on that pop fly, they're able to get the force out at second base. Heads-up play out there by the Tribe defense, and Chavez able to recover. Once again, we've talked about the effect the wind has often here at Preliminary Park. Tonight has been no different on this looping pop fly off the bat of Bruce Weich. And you see there kind of the Bermuda Triangle out there for William & Mary. And actually, it was the right fielder, Iriotakis, who was able to pick it up off a hop, fired a strike in there on the money to Jamie Laskowski, and they're just able to nab Smith at second base. So over to third base goes DeCarlo, and Weich is on at first. There's 2 gone now in this fifth inning for A&T. So with runners in the corners, the hitter is Edwards, their cleanup man, and he'll foul this one back. No balls, 2 strikes to Edwards. Edwards just 173 this year. 10 RBIs. Would love to add another one here, maybe even 2, to cut into this 4-run Tribe lead. But an 0-2 count against him. Fouls this one back. Wastes it. Will do it again at 0-2. Rich Wine, when he gets 2 outs on the board, not a good sign for the opposition. Hitters 0 for 10 against him with 2 gone. Trying to repeat that here and get his team back in the dugout. 0-2. High, eye level, fastball at 90. 1-2. You see the runner at third there is DeCarlo. He has 2 of the 6 Aggie hits in this ball game. 1-2. That one also misses up. So even at 2-2, 2 on, 2 out in the top of the fifth inning. Rich Wine nearing in on 50 pitches in this outing, trying to work 3 for the 3rd consecutive outing for the Tribe. Fouled back. Feisty at bat here from the 4-hole hitter Edwards. Two out. DeCarlo at third. Weich at first. Edwards awaits. The pitch from Rich Wine. He got him swinging. Rich Wine, he bends but doesn't break here in the 5th inning and keeps the Aggies off the board. And his team will head to the dugout with a 4-run lead still intact. He gets Edwards swinging off to the bottom of the 5th, where the score is William & Mary 6, A&T 2. Back here for the bottom of the fifth inning, where the score is William & Mary 6, North Carolina A&T 2. Jack Angelucci, so happy to have you on your Friday evening. Thanks for spending it with us on the Tribe Sports Network here on Flow College. William & Mary, they have been able to get a run across in 3 of their 4 trips to the plate. They'll work again here against the lanky righty Aiden Hansen in the 5th. And here is with Scafidi. Scafidi, a big reason why the Tribe have a 4-run lead. Actually, you can attribute that lead solely to him because of that shot that put the Tribe up 4-0 at the time in the first inning. Mentioned he's the only catcher in the CAA that's hitting 400 or better this season. 1-0, misses outside, 2-0. And, you know, what a bonus it is if you're Rob McCoy and the Tribe to get that type of offensive production out of that position. Obviously, the catcher's so important defensively, but you get a guy that can go out there and just rake for you as well on the other end, and it's really such a big asset to have. And you see they're being very careful with him here. 4 pitches, 3 of them missed, 3-1. Breaking ball at 82. Misses outside, and it's a 5-pitch walk for Whit Scafidi. First walk issued by Aiden Hansen in relief. Brings in Charlie Iriatakis, the right fielder. As once again with a leadoff guy on, the Tribe looking to pounce here in the 5th, and that one almost grazed the elbow of Iriatakis. 1-0. One as that's in for a strike. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball, man, I tell you what, Hansen's breaking ball is really, really fun to watch. That one snapped off. And we talked about spin rate earlier in this broadcast. As you see there still, Lingle is up and moving for William & Mary in the bullpen. We'll probably see him next frame. As this 1-2 on the ground at second base, they can get 2 here. It goes from Taylor Acevedo on to Edwards, 4-6-3. And Hansen gets just what the doctor ordered there to get rid of that leadoff man. A double play, and there's 2 gone here in the home half of the 5th. But back to that breaking ball for Hansen. We talked about it. Stephen Christopher for William Mary, that breaking ball sits for him at right around 2,800 RPMs. It was right around 2,800 for Hansen as well. For reference, average D1 breaking ball is in the 2,400 range. MLB is just 2,600. So you're seeing some really high-level breakers by these 2 guys today as this is lifted into shallow center field by Kasuda, and it's put away to end the inning. It was a smooth sailing inning relatively for Aiden Hansen, and it was helped by that 4-6-3 double play as he heads to the dugout, and we're on to the top of the 6th at Blue Mary Park. The score still remains William & Mary 6, North Carolina A&T 2. Daniel Lingle's on the mound for William & Mary as he's going to work again. His 10th appearance of the season. This is game number 20. Mentioned he led the nation in appearances last year with 36, as he will try and be the bridge here in this pod system for William & Mary. As you see, actually 34 appearances, my apologies, but just a guy they can rely on to eat innings for them, consistent as well for the Tribe, no doubt this season. The final line for Charlie Richwine, who worked his 3 innings, if you will, in that pod system for the 3rd consecutive outing. 3 innings pitched, no earned runs, no runs allowed, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and the big one for him is no walks issued, no free passes from the lefty Richwine in his outing. Lingle will drop in a strike to begin this top of the 6th inning, as the hitter is the second baseman, J.T. Taylor. That one misses outside. Counts 1-1. That one missed at eye level. We've talked about a couple times the pod system William Mary uses. They got 2 innings out of the starter, Stephen Christopher. And the idea is that, you bring in Lingle to eat that 1 inning that Christopher was unable to work, and then get you to that 3rd guy in your pod system. That'd be Tom Burke. As the count 3-1 here to Taylor, and he'll cut at the 3-1 offering and foul it out of play. So 3-2 is the count. And Lingle delivers. This also in foul territory, but playable. Chrisman. Oh, he couldn't handle it. Have seen a couple of pop flies to the right side tonight. The first one actually was behind the plate with Scafidi. He was able to handle it. You had the one in shallow right last inning that the Tribe were able to at least salvage a force out of. And then that one unable to be played by Chrisman down the first base line. So another full count pitch. And unfortunately, instead of being one gone here in the top of the 6th because of that play, it's going to be a walk that is worked. So a walk, and it brings in a left-hand hitter this time in Bradshaw. Lingle, there's no real edge no matter which hand you are at the plate, lefty or righty. Both sides are hitting exactly .231 against him. One and 0. A&T 2 for 12 with runners on base in this ballgame, as the count goes to 2-0. Third baseman playing in, that's Kasuda. That one fooled him. An excuse me swing there from Bradshaw. This is a chopper to first base. Leaping effort couldn't be made there, and it's going to be an infield single. Chrisman did his best, but couldn't get a glove on it. Good job by Chavez. Keeps it in the infield, but at that point, there was no play to be had there at the first base bag. It's an infield single for Bradshaw, and you can move up Taylor to second base. Nobody gone in the 6th, and A&T threatening to shrink this 4-run gap with a pair of runners on. And The DH Tinsley to the plate, who had the 2-run homer. 1 for 5 A&T with runners in scoring position today. But Tinsley clearly has shown the ability to leave the yard already today, which is exactly what Lingle will probably be trying to work against with that 4-run lead. Lone outside. Seven, eight, nine for A&T in this 6th inning. Well, excuse me, this is 7, I should say. 8-9 to follow. Tinsley, the 7-hole hitter, and swings for that one. It's 2-1. Make it now 3-1 as that one missed. So Lingle, a bit of a shaky start here to his appearance in the top of the 6th inning. Hands are belt high, and he'll deliver a 3-1 that he really probably wants to get over pretty badly, as fouled straight back makes it a full count. Runner on second, Taylor. Bradshaw, he is on at first. Payoff pitch. This is lifted by Tinsley into left, but will nowhere near have enough on it to leave the yard like he did in the 2nd inning. And it is going to be an F7 to retire him. And there's 1 gone in the 6th. Caleb Beals, the 3rd baseman, will look to drive in that runner from second, or maybe plant one in the gap and score a pair, as A&T trying to make some hay into the 4-run Tribe lead here at the top of the 6th inning. This is on the ground of shortstop, Leskovsky to second, and Chavez over to first. Oh, it's a big double play, and that's how the inning's going to end. What a job up the middle by Leskovsky and Chavez. Wasn't sure they'd have a chance at him at first base, but that turn up the middle, man, oh man, was that smooth. And they go 6-4-3 to end the top of the 6th inning, Tribe by 4 here at Plumery Park. One last look at it, deciding to break. Wow, great work on that double play to get Lingle out of a jam.
There's a new home for care in Richmond. A hospital for kids unlike any other. Because in your child's life, you'll never know when you'll need help. You'll never know who you'll need. You'll never know what is possible. But you'll always know where it will happen. The new Children's Tower, unlike any other.
The town story for me is really about connecting with our members in a way that's different from the other banks. What's consistently found at Town Bank? It's a company built on employees that really want to help make a difference in people's lives. From day one, this company was built on a culture of caring. A foundation has not changed. We're still built on caring and helping others.
Hey Tribe fans, my name is Jamie Leskovsky, and thank you for watching William Mary Baseball on the Tribe Sports Network. Go Tribe.
Bottom 6 at Plumery Park, and the score is William & Mary 6, North Carolina A&T 2. Still on and still working is the righty for the Aggies, Aiden Hansen. He will start this 6th frame by facing Louis Bartletti. In there for a strike 0-1. William & Mary really helped out big time by that 6-4-3 turn. Mentioned Lingle, usually very reliable in those situations, but didn't really have the start of that inning he was hoping for, finding himself runners on first and second, nobody gone, and then he gets the one out there on the fly ball, and then they turn the 6-4-3 for him. Just the third ground ball generated today by William & Mary. As to start this home half of the sixth, a beautiful breaker at 77 miles an hour from Hansen. A beautiful spinner to put down Bartletti. As Hansen's going to go to the fastball here and miss to Kazmarek. So there's one gone in this home half of the sixth inning, and the first two pitches, they both miss to the right-hand hitter for the Tribe. Had a single and came around to score in the fourth. That's the last time we've seen any offensive production in this ballgame. William & Mary 4 across in the first inning to get themselves out to a fantastic start. A&T answers with their lone 2 runs of the ballgame after a 2-run home run by Andrew Tinsley. The Tribe respond with 1 in the bottom of the second inning, and they add another in the bottom of the fourth as a walk is worked here by Kazmarek, who's on for the second time today. 4 straight missing for Hansen, who has been very good. Second walk issued for him. And it brings the 9-hole hitter, the second baseman, Connor Chavez. Chavez shoots this one foul out of play. Chavez 0 for 2. Fly out to center and a strikeout. Hitting .240 this season with runners on. There goes the runner from first. This one misses high. The throw down is also going to be high, and it allows for a stolen base for Kazmarek. Kazmarek now his 4th steal of the season. And William & Mary, their 4th steal of the game. Above their 2 and change swipes they average per contest, but have really been causing havoc on the base pass. Mentioned earlier, they had those 10 steals to set a program record last Saturday at Georgetown. The Tribe, 51 of 63 in terms of swipe bags. Chavez going to lift the 2-1 into shallow right. Weich is in, and not even thinking about it, obviously. Kazmarek will stay put at second base. So it is an F9 for Chavez, who will fall to 0-3 on the day. But the lineup flips to the top for Chase Ecker. A triple to begin the offensive night for William & Mary in the first inning. And a strikeout in the second, and a 5-3 bounce out in the fourth. Ecker with a runner in scoring position. 2 gone in this inning. Really want to tip the cap, though, to Aiden Hansen so far in this outing. Mentioned that, he got roughed up a little bit last time out, last Friday against Campbell, in a game that their whole staff got roughed up, a 21-11 loss. Ecker shows bunt, pulls it back, it's a ball. But Hansen took the ball tonight, already facing a deficit, and I said, the goal for him was going to be to keep his team within striking distance. He has done that. Their offense has not come through on the other end of that equation yet for them. However, still some time, and they're still within striking distance, as that one will pop away from the catcher Smith. He'll track it down in time, and staying put at second base is Kazmarek. It's a 3-0 count to Ecker. Ecker had 4 steals in that game last Saturday at Georgetown, where the Tribe swiped 10 bags. That also tied a program single game record. He will watch this one at 82 on the outside black for a called strike. (3-1). Ecker, took a cut at that one, but didn't come close because it's that beautiful breaking ball from Hansen. I mean, talk about having confidence. You turn to that pitch on 3-1, and you induce a swing that was not pretty. Fouled straight back, 3-2. Ecker looking for his 7th hit of the year with 2 outs. And a hit to the outfield will probably add another insurance run for William & Mary. As Kasmerick standing on second. Big lead over there for him. Can't even see him in the frame there. As that's going to be ball forward, eye level to Ecker, who gets on for the 2nd time today, and he'll hand it off to Laskowski, the shortstop, to hopefully continue a bit of a 2-out insurance building rally for William & Mary.
Jamie Laskowski.
Laskowski really reliable with 2 out in terms of passing the baton. 8 of 17 this year, including an RBI single that he had last time up, and he's 2 for 2 today. That's a pretty good stat line you see on your screen there. 1-0. Once again, the breaking ball had Laskowski well out in front. (1-1) and fouled off down the first base line. So 1-2 with 2 out, and Hansen once again trying to get his team back in the dugout in hopes that they can cut into a 4-run deficit as he tries to post another 0 against the Tribe. 1-2 on the ground to second. This is Taylor up with it. He'll collect himself and fire it over to Edwards, and the inning is over. William & Mary is going to have a 4-run lead heading into the 7th inning as Hansen once again denies the Tribe. We'll be right back after this break from Van Wagner. This is the Tribe Sports Network here on Flow College.
Number 41, Tom Burr.
New pitcher for William & Mary, and this is Tom Burke, the lefty. 14 innings for him on the season. His last time out was against Georgetown. That was on last Saturday, as he worked 3 innings, only 1 hit allowed, punched out 2, and nobody came across against him. No walks either. So, trying to hold on to a 4-run Tribe advantage in game 1 of this 3-game set. Talked about it previously on this broadcast, how big these first games are in these conference series. William & Mary, they're looking for conference win number 1 of the season. They're the lone team so far in the CAA South who hasn't gotten a win on the board in conference play. However, they're also one of two teams who hasn't played two series yet. They had the opening CAA series at Campbell 2 weeks ago, got swept by the Fighting Camels there in Bowie's Creek, then went to Georgetown for a non-conference 3-game set last weekend. So the lefty, Burke, will work against Acevedo, the shortstop, here in the top of the 7th inning. And he will deliver a 91-mile-per-hour fastball that Acevedo never thought about giving a swing at. Inside for a ball. Acevedo is 0 for 2 today. Fielder's choice and a flyout. Foul ball, 1-2. Bit of a mix for how Burke is able to get guys out. He's induced 16 flyouts and 10 groundouts this season. So not a one-trick pony, if you will. And he's going to earn a punch out to begin his night here in the 7th. Froze Luis Acevedo, who is now 0 for 3 in the ball game, and there's one gone in the 7th. Take a look at it. How well is that located at 92? Perfectly knee height. Great job receiving it as well behind the dish by Scafidi. And now to the top of the order, we go with DiCarlo. DiCarlo on the ground to first. This is nicely handled by Chrisman, and 2 gone. Tom Burke, a good start to his outing as he gets the 9-hole hitter Acevedo on strikes and then retires the most dangerous bat, at least average-wise, in this A&T lineup in DiCarlo, and there's 2 gone. The catcher, Tyler Smith, is not going to come close to this one, 0-1. Righties just 143 against the Tribe's southpaw Burke, as the count will go to 1-1. Chopper foul. So 1-2 with 2 gone. Burke set. And the pitch. Smith is going to go down swinging. Tom Burke sparkling in the 7th. 1, 2, 3. Go the Aggies. Time to stretch on your Friday night. William & Mary leads things 6-2.
Okay, fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Stand up, stretch your legs, and enjoy the music.
So a new look in the CAA this year. You see the standings, and you see the big difference is those all caps were at the top, north, south. We go to divisions this year in the CAA as the regular season conference schedules 30 games. It'll be 10 3-game series, which all teams will have 2 to 4 repeat opponents within their division, 1 to 2 crossover opponents, including a bye weekend. It's an increase from just one series last year with no divisions, no repeat opponents. Here's how the championship field will be set, though, when it comes to the postseason time. The top 2 teams in each division, based on conference winning percentage, automatically qualify. The final 2 spots go to the highest ranked teams in the NCAA RPI that didn't finish in the top 2 in their division. Division winners are the 1 and 2 seeds in their brackets, and then with head-to-head results or RPI being determined who's 1, who's 2, division runners-up become 3 and 4 seeds, and that's also based off RPI tiebreakers. The 2 at-large RPI teams fill out the field as the 5th and 6th seeds, once again sorted by their RPI. So this is lined into left field to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. It's Trey Chrisman, and he's in with a leadoff double. The Tribe just keep on keeping on here in the home half of the 7th inning, and they get started with their leadoff man in the inning, Chrisman, lining one to left for a double. Chrisman coming into this one 9 for 19 over the last 4 games, and his hitting streak now is at 5. As that one just kind of handcuffed. Actually, they're going to rule this a single and an error that got Chrisman over into second base. So it'll be the second single of the game for Trey Chrisman. In the home half of the 7th. Scafidi, the catcher, hits this one hard but foul. And with the RPI mattering, with those seedings, really is important. The non-league games, the midweek games you play, you want to have a high RPI. So whereas in the past, maybe those were looked at as, for lack of a better term, somewhat of throwaway games at times, those do really matter more this year. Which, in my personal opinion, I think it's a fantastic change to at least give a little more emphasis on those midweek games. And William & Mary trying to make some hay after an 0-3 start in CAA play, getting swept by Campbell. They have a 4-run lead. They've been in the driver's seat the entire night here in this series opener against North Carolina A&T. Scafidi fouls that off. It's 1-2. The 1-2. Scafidi lifts it high to center field. Not enough of a charge in this one, though. DiCarlo has it. Tagging up from second base is Chrisman in there standing up. So it is a productive out from the Tribe catcher Scafidi as he moves Chrisman over to third and one step closer to scoring an insurance run for the Tribe. Charlie Iriatakis going to come in against Hansen, who is working another inning here, as this is absolutely destroyed by Charlie Iriatakis. Man alive, that one exited quickly to right field. The Tribe expand their lead. It's now 8-2 thanks to the right fielder Iriatakis.
Look for the home run hammers, presented by Streamline Roofing, the official roofing partner of the Tribe.
William & Mary, the offense has done it today. Rob McCoy told me before the game, we got to capitalize. We can't make mistakes. Well, that was a mistake by Hansen, the pitcher, as Iriatakis absolutely drilled that one to right. And it was no doubt that one was leaving the yard, and hopefully for the fans in attendance, dodging their cars out in the parking lot. 8-2, Iriatakis, the home run, his 4th of the season, and this is also smoked to right field, but back to the wall to put it away is Weich. Almost back-to-back jacks, because Suda put a charge into that one, but not enough. It's allowed out number 2.
Pinch hitting for the Tribe, number 1, Jackson Woolwine.
Pinch hitter coming in for William & Mary. It is going to be Jackson Woolwine. So Woolwine will step in and take the AB here from the DH Bartletti. This is chopped on the ground, is short, and it's bobbled there by the shortstop Acevedo. It is going to be the 5th error of the game against North Carolina A&T. And really, for A&T, they with the 5 errors today, it's been a problem they've had all season. They had a league high 54 errors, 17 in their 2+ conference weekend. So 54th error of the season for North Carolina A&T. And Rob McCoy, I talked to him before the game. He said this is a really talented A&T ball club. They've just been hindered by some mistakes at times. There goes the runner, the throw down, and it can't be handled at second base by Chavez. It's a stolen base there for Woolwine. Fifth swipe bag of the day for William & Mary. And this is fouled off. The hitter is Kazmarek. Count 1-1. But as I was saying, Rob McCoy told me, this is a really, really skilled A&T ball club, but they just have not been able to get away from some mistakes that have hindered them this season. And he said, with our young group that we have on our side, we have to capitalize on those mistakes that they're going to make if they make them. And, we can't make mistakes of our own. And they've done that today. 5 errors against A&T. The Tribe have also helped themselves out with those 2 home runs, some pretty good pitching today. A swing and a miss there by Kazmarek. Really, Hansen has done a great job in relief, in my opinion, for A&T. And just until this frame left a mistake for Iriatakis. But he responds and gets a punch out here to end the 7th inning. William & Mary, they have had quite the evening offensively, and Charlie Iriatakis sends this one deep into the Friday night at Williamsburg's air. Tom Burke going to look to shut the door for William & Mary. They lead 8-2 in this ball game. Their largest lead of the game currently, thanks to a 2-run shot. That last half frame by Charlie Iriatakis. Weich going to start things here for A&T in the 8th inning. They have 6 outs to play with to erase a 6-run deficit. defensive substitution for William & Mary. It is Daisuke Miyama who comes in at third, as that one is going to be a ball. They check to first and nothing doing there. There you see Miyama, the new defensive entry. Misses high, 3-0. Burke just trying to get one over and avoid a 4-pitch walk to begin the 8th, but he can't do so. Obviously, a bit of a road to climb back for the Aggies, but you got to start somewhere, and they get the leadoff guy on here in the top of the 8th inning.
First baseman, number 10, Savoy Edwards.
And it brings in Savoy Edwards. White at first. Pitch. This is hit by Edwards, shot into left field, back to the track, the wall, giving chase is Kazmarek, and it's left the yard. Savoy Edwards. A 2-run shot to left. Second 2-run shot of the day for North Carolina A&T. And now the score, 8-4. For Edwards, his second homer of the year, first home run given up by Tom Burke on the mound. Luckily for him, he'll get a blank slate now with nobody on and nobody out. But a 2-run shot has brought it back to a 4-run game here in the 8th. I mentioned 6 outs to play with and 6 runs to make up. And a pretty good return so far for the Aggies. They get 2 of those runs back without trading in any outs. So still 6 outs to work with. Now only 4 runs to make up. And the count is 2-0 to the hitter Taylor. After a great 1-2-3 inning by Burke in the 7th. A 4-pitch walk, a homer, and now 2-0, but he gets a swing and a miss there, now making 2-1. He'll try and settle down here with his 4-run lead. High, 3-1. A&T just 4 for 16 with runners on today, but 2 of those 4 have been very productive. They've left the yard. And at 3-1, Scafidi is going to go out and talk to the pitcher Burke. And just talk things over. The Tribe do have some stirring in their bullpen. Appears to be Jet Humphreys. (3-1) in for a strike. I'm sure that the Tribe would love to hold off bringing Humphreys into this game for just a little bit and hope that Burke can buy him a couple more outs here. Payoff pitch coming to Edwards. And just missed. So the first 3 guys are on here for North Carolina A&T. 2 of them already brought home thanks to the homer from Edwards. My apologies. I said it was Edwards at bat. It was actually Taylor, obviously, after the Edwards homer. So White works a walk, Edwards the 2-run homer, and then Taylor works a walk as well. And it'll bring in Marcus Bradshaw. In there for a strike to begin the AB for Bradshaw. Bradshaw 1 for 3 today. cut on and missed, 0-2. Burke trying to bear down here in the 8th. Get his team back in the dugout. They're up by 4. There goes the runner, but the pickoff moved to first. They'll go over to second base, and he's in there. Chrisman threw it over to Laskovsky at second. And Laskovsky kind of got spun around. And that was just pure speed by Taylor to get there in time. Mentioned he was going on first movement. And Burke looked over, and that throw just a bit up towards the outfield, and that was a strikeout as Bradshaw's down on strikes for the second time today. And here's a look at the swing and the miss that will retire the left fielder Bradshaw for the first out of the inning. So a stolen bag for Taylor. His 7th of the season. And one of the more unconventional ones I'm sure he's had of those 7. A&T just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position today. Gonna have to improve on that here. Down by 4 in the 8th inning. Runner on second, 1 away, swing and a miss. This is Tinsley, who had the first of the 2 two-run shots for the Aggies. That came back in the second. Oh, 2. Burt, the runner on second, trying to get rid of Tinsley here. Just click the outs away for the Tribe. Chopped towards short. 2 hops. Laskovsky. Oh, unable to pick it at first. Chrisman. Hard bounce back off the wall, and it will keep Taylor from trying anything crazy and scoring on the play, but up to second on the error is going to go Tinsley. So now you have 2 runners in scoring position for North Carolina A&T and just 1 gone here in the 8th. Well hit ball. Laskovsky off the 2 hops, handled it nicely, and just not a throw that he'd like to see there, simply put. So the E6. And it's the second error today for William & Mary, and it puts 2 in scoring position for the Aggies. Exactly what they would love to see here in this 8th, trying to cut into what was a 6-run deficit. Good stop on the plate on that first pitch by Scafidi. The hitter is Caleb Beals, and Beals will watch this one for a ball. (2-0) with 1 away. Runner on third, Taylor. Tinsley on second. Beals swings through that one. Chased it at 83 miles an hour. (2-1). Went back to his cutter again there. Missed it inside, 3-1. Here's the 3-1 from Burke. In there for a strike, and turning back towards his dugout because he thought it was ball 4 was Beals, but he'll have to dig back in here. with a full count and 1 away. Payoff with 2 on the ground to the left side. Oh, great play by Miyama to keep it in the infield and fires it to first. What a nice job there by the defensive entry, Miyama, to track that down, threw it over, and there's 2 gone now in the frame. Coming across to score, though, was Taylor, so it's an RBI 5-3 bounce out for Beals, and it's now just a 3-run game at 8-5. Over to third goes Tinsley. Acevedo, the shortstop, in at the dish. Shows bunt, pulls it back. Two gone. Tribe trying to get back in the dugout. With a 3-run lead, they've seen half their lead erased here in the 8th. One, 2 out. Acevedo watches this one miss at chin level. On the way, on the ground, left side. Miyama again, the pickup. Oh, Miyama's made 2 fantastic plays here, back-to-back, and it brings his team back in the dugout with that 3-run lead still in their back pocket. A&T, they do get 3 across, though, as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the score is William & Mary 8, North Carolina A&T 5 on this Friday night.
There's a new home for care in Richmond. A hospital for kids unlike any other. Because in your child's life, you'll never know when you'll need help. You'll never know who you'll need. You'll never know what is possible. But you'll always know where it will happen. The new Children's Tower, unlike any other.
Hey Tribe fans, my name is Jerry Barnes, and thank you for watching William & Mary Baseball on the Tribe Sports Network. Go Tribe!
North Carolina A&T, they cut their deficit in half. They put up 3 in the frame, and it was powered by a 2-run home run by Savoy Edwards. But William & Mary, they still have that 3-run lead intact thanks to the work with the glove by Daisuke Miyama at the hot corner. A couple of nice stabs, plays across his body to throw over to first and get his team back in the dugout. And what a story for Miyama, a defensive replacement this last inning. And you know, he was not always really guaranteed or expected to really be a contributor on this team. Kind of a walk-on, got into the school, asked to join the team, try out, and really impress Rob McCoy with his glove work. And they use him as defensive replacement here, and really makes 2 fabulous plays at the hot corner to get his team back in the dugout. Really, really cool story for him. And a new pitcher in the game for North Carolina A&T, and it's going to be the righty Ross Fowler who will get the work here. A graduate student, 6'3", 220, and a 10.38 ERA. His last time out for Fowler was against UNCG on the 11th, worked an inning, scoreless with 2 strikeouts. So Chavez will lead off the home half of the 8th for William & Mary. 0 for 3 today. Fowler, 85-mile-per-hour fastball, missed low. Eight 8-5 lead for the Tribe. And it could have been less than that if it wasn't for the defense of Miyama. Robin McCoy puts him in at the right time, it appears, making 2 fantastic plays. And off the bat, you thought maybe it was actually going to go to the shortstop, Laskovsky, but great reaction work by Miyama to make those 2 plays and make those 2 throws across his body almost just as impressively to keep this thing at a multi-run advantage for the green and gold. 2-1 count to Chavez to begin this home half of the 8th. As William & Mary hopes this is their last time at the plate in this ball game, trying to shut the door in the next half inning. Chavez, the 3-1 from Ross Fowler is way outside.
Center fielder number 7.
5th time today, William & Mary will get their leadoff guy on. So back to the top of the order, it's Ecker. With Chavez on. Ecker shows bunt, fouled straight back. First time on for Chavez today after the 0 for 3 start, working that walk to begin the 8th inning. "16 of William & Mary's 21 wins a year ago were come from behind wins. Today, though, they have led throughout, trying to close this one out, up 8-5 here in the bottom of the 8th. Showing bunt again. Another foul ball, 0-2. William & Mary not often one to use the sack bunt, just 7 times in 20 games. And Ecker, we'll see. I'm assuming it'll be off here with the count 0-2. And they'll square around again. So an 0-2 count, and they'll check over to first, actually. A nice move made by Fowler. And you saw the first baseman, Edwards, nodding his head. He agrees it was a nice move over by his righty reliever. Once again, the bunt shown on 0-2. They'll pull back and swing away, but the runner was in motion. It's a weak fly ball to right field, and it gets down, and this is just one of those unfortunate circumstances for William & Mary, as Chavez is easily put out at second. He was already 95% of the way there, then he goes all the way back to first base, and then it's unable to be handled by the first baseman, Edwards, as it's out number 1 on a unconventional fielder's choice. You see Chavez back in the dugout. All he earned there was just a little bit of fatigue. And William & Mary is going to use an offensive timeout here to gather together. As it's the third base coach, Caleb Lang, Kelly Coral, the first base coach, the runner on first, and Ecker, and the hitter, Laskovsky. Laskovsky been real good today. Check over to first, and the ball couldn't be handled by the first baseman, Edwards. Bottom of the 8th. The righty on the mound in Fowler hops this one on his catcher. A great job knocking it down, though, behind the dish by Smith.
Yeah, I think they might have. Yeah.
Laskowski, 424 this season with runners on base. Count 2-0 to him. As the task for the righty Ross Fowler is to put a 0 on the board and give his team a fighting chance in the top of the 9th inning. Ecker fakes the steal, hard hit. Diving effort at second, couldn't be handled by Taylor. Ecker on the way to third. No throw there. On the hop, it got past the shortstop, Acevedo, and on to second base is going to go Laskowski on a single, and you can mark that his third base knock of the ball game. Another fantastic day at the plate for Jamie Laskowski. And now he puts 2 in scoring position for the 3-hole hitter, Trey Chrisman, who has been fantastic as of late. 9 for 19 in the last 4 games. And today, he's been 2 for 3. This is on the ground. It's going to get through the infield, drawn in. It's going to score a run. It's going to be an RBI for Trey Chrisman, his second of the game. And the Tribe, they put their lead back to 4. It's 9-5. Ecker in to score. Laskowski on the third. Top of this order, just so productive today for William & Mary. Infield was drawn in, and Chrisman didn't really get a lot on it. Only 54 miles per hour exit velo, but part of the game is hit him where they ain't, and he did it there to bring in the run. Now runners in the corners for Scafidi. Chrisman takes off, and there'll be no play. A stolen base for him. As mentioned, his second RBI of the game. He's knocked in a runner in 7 consecutive contests. Just piping hot at the plate, Trey Chrisman. Infield back in for A&T with 1 gone. 1-1, well outside. Good backhand grab by the catcher, Smith.
1-1-0. 1-1-0.
Runners on second and third for William & Mary. 1-1. And that is going to hit Scafidi. The bases are now loaded here in the 8th.
Right fielder, number 24.
And it's going to bring in Charlie Iritakis as he homered last time up. And you see there, right in the back right, in the right elbow, I should say, got Scafidi, and that is going to be it. Ross Fowler able to put 1 out on the board, but he's left his team in a precarious position, down 9-5. Here in the bottom of the 8th, with 1 gone, the base is loaded. Chance for the Tribe to potentially put this one away. We'll take a break here and tell you who's coming in the game next.
Now on the mound for the Aggies, number 28, James Van Meter.
Lefty, James Van Meter, gets the ball here in the 8th inning. The Tampa, Florida native has got a fun one to work his way out of here. Bases loaded, 1 out. His team down by 4. This is going to be appearance number a lot for Van Meter, but has worked 13 and a third and has gotten plenty of action this season. His last time out was on the 11th.
Now at bat for the Tribe, right fielder number
6-3 for the lefty. As we got some rain coming down here at at Plumeri Park. Bases loaded. This is chopped up the middle. Could be a chance at 2. It's going to be 1 pitch for Van Meter, and just what the doctor ordered. That's about as effective as I've seen anybody be in a bases-loaded 1-out jam coming into the ballgame. Van Meter gets the 6-3 double play to end the home half of the 8th inning. Take a look at it here, and that's how this frame is going to end. Iriatakis bounces into it, and A&T, they're going to try and mount a 9th inning comeback next, right here on Flow College.
Now on the mound for the Tribe, number 9, Jed Humphries.
And they got a new pitcher in to try and do it. It's going to be the righty, Jet Humphries, true freshman. And he will try and close this one out and give William & Mary their first conference win of the season. Humphries, a two-way player, pitched a pair of scoreless innings at number 14 UVA on March the 10th. Missed outside. Missed inside for a ball. The hitter for A&T is Nick DiCarlo. In for a called strike. 2-1. Two and two the count. In there, called strike 3. Great start for Jet Humphreys. He punches out the dangerous DiCarlo. One gone. Brings in the catcher, Tyler Smith. In there for a called strike. Nine-5 the Tribe lead. 1-1 pitch. Popped to the left side of the infield. Coming back into fair territory. Backpedaling. Laskovsky has it. Great day offensively for him, and it makes a nice play there. And the Tribe 1 out away from their first CAA win of the season. Weich, the last hope for A&T. Quickly, the count to 1-2. Humphreys trying to put this one away. The 1-2 pitch. Got him! William and Mary, they're going to pick up their first conference win of the season. Going to be 9-5. They do enough defensively, and the offense pounced from the opening inning. And they win this one by a 9-5 scoreline. Good effort by the staff on the mound as well. And really just a great all-around offensive day for the Tribe.
Had 2 errors and left 7 men on base. Today's winning pitcher,
as the Tribe will go to 1-3 now in conference play, and they win this series opener against North Carolina A&T. The Aggies now 2-5. Our player of the game today is Jamie Laskovsky. What a day for him. 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, some nice plays at shortstop, and was just really consistent all day long. Active on the base pass as well with some swipe bags. Did a bit of everything for William and Mary in this 9-5 victory, and does a good job of getting the Tribe off to a good start in this series opener. So that is going to do it here from Williamsburg. The Tribe, they use offense early and often to grab a 9-5 win on this Friday evening. For my statistician, Pete Clausen, our whole telemedia crew here, I'm Jack Angelucci saying so long and good night from Williamsburg. We'll see you tomorrow for Games 2 and Sunday, Game 3 of this 3-game set. Have a good one.